This is Movies, a podcast about the act of cinema. And with me today, he's oh so gothic. It is Hans.
Hello. I'm muted. No. How's it going?
It's going. It's going just dandy. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Is it? It's rainy as fuck in here. It
In
was
here,
very
in your
sunny.
house,
Yeah, it was
you should
very
probably
yeah.
seal that up.
Remember how that happened a couple of years ago where a bunch of water just got in my house? We weren't ready for
I'm
the
waiting to
rain.
see a tide come in right around the corner and wash all your shit away.
Yeah. Well, one time it was because the drain in the backyard was clogged and we didn't know, and then it rained a lot and we got shit like here in my apartment. And then another time was that what are the canoes? Is that what they're called? The not the canoes. Yeah, canoes, right? It was clogged and we didn't know. So then just a bunch of water fell on where my computer was on my desk and everything, one afternoon. So we're just, I forget that we get because the weather here is either rainy season or dry season. That's all we have. And I forget that it's really intense every year. And because I'm not a handyman, I just, fix it once it's broken and once once the problem's there.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before that just all collapses over you. I don't know what the infrastructure is like for your average Costa Rican household. Is it actually sturdy? Do you trust in
Well,
your home?
mine is because this is all brick and cement because this was built by my grandparents. So this part I'm completely safe.
It's not like
What?
those Filipinos that build their mud huts and build
No.
mansions out of dirt.
Yeah, dirt and fucking just metal, just like a metal slab and shit. No, we have like a ceiling and shit. You know,
What
this is
more
like
do
a
you
proper
need?
construction, like a proper construction, not what you get on 90 Day Fiancé when they go to Colombia or whatever. And then it's just like, how the fuck do you live like this? You know,
No, I
having
mean,
showers, having showers with your father-in-law, the fucking uh,
well, we watched some videos from 90 Day Fiancé, and a shower is really just rainwater collected in a bucket for many of those people.
yeah. No wonder they move to the States and marry the biggest loser in the history of the country just so that they can get away from their
That's a
shithole.
horrible way to describe Big Ed. How dare you? I was thinking about getting him for our celebrity takeover and then ultimately decided, I think maybe not. Maybe we'll save that for Civic TV, a Civic TV takeover. Maybe we'll make Big Ed watch clips of his show with us. That could be in the cards for the future. He's kind of one of these characters, not dissimilar to a King Cobra JFS or Gothic King Cobra, except he managed to make it onto network television. And
Yeah.
this King Cobra character, who we knew nothing about when he came on and recommended Tombstone for our May
Mm.
Sweep Celebrity Takeover series, he is, I guess, now in a Boogie 2988 position. He's a Wings of Redemption lolcow, right?
Mm.
I know nothing at all outside of what I watched in this documentary from 2014. I've done minimal research on him outside of that. Jerry hit us up after that episode dropped and was like, "Oh damn, I was disappointed you guys didn't have him on for a full show." Maybe that'll be in the cards for this episode. I don't know. We'll see. But
Do you think Big Ed would have picked Tiptoes starring Gary Oldman, where he plays a crippled midget?
I don't think
Have you
Ed's
never
a
seen that?
midget though. Ed is just compact, isn't he?
Well, isn't he like 4'7"?
I don't think he. I mean, I think he's a smaller guy. I don't think he's a literal midget. I think it's just the head, neck, shoulder ratio is so minimal that it makes him look smaller than he actually is.
He's 4'11". What's legally a dwarf?
For
Dwarf
men,
is
I
four
believe it's
up to
five.
4'10".
I think
Nope. 4'10".
it's 5'11".
Down.
Oh,
Yeah. You're a midget. No, it's 4'10" down. So he qualifies as a midget. I mean, sorry, as a dwarf. My bad.
they
So
could
he
do
is so
celebrity boxing with him and Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show. That
he's
could be
still alive.
Creator Clash 3.
Oh man, isn't it funny how quickly that just crashed out?
Well, they
And
what? They had
I
to give it up to their investors, the people
no
on the
they
sidelines who aren't faces that can be used to market the event.
well they gave it to the people that run the second one, which left them 250,000 in red, right? So that's a great idea. Let's just give it to the same people that
Well, I
didn't do
don't
a
think
good
that
job
was
last.
on. I mean, I don't know anything about the internal dynamics there, but it seemed to me that there was a misappropriation of funds on Creator Clash 2 that
Mm.
went into, well, we want to make sure that everybody has therapy afterward and they have a moment to unwind before they get on a plane and go back home. These things we didn't think about for the first Creator Clash. But
But the therapy was an expensive party with a comedian that they paid $20,000. Because the first time he fought, he took a plane right away and he didn't have time to process his trauma. And he was on a plane and then he got home and he was like, "Oh man, I can't believe I just went through that." And he couldn't process his trauma. So of course he needed a fucking party to process his trauma so he wouldn't be sad when he get home because he got beat the fuck up by a doctor. He's just oh dude, I don't remember one. I don't remember what a YouTuber was, but one of these videos with like an update of what's happening popped up, and I didn't see that he posted a rebuttal, not a rebuttal, like a response to his original video that was shorter.
yeah, there was a content deputy video where he essentially justified why he's
Yep.
aligning with the people he's aligning with, and that the CPS calls triggered Ethan. It's like, no shit, it triggered Ethan. They tried to take his kids away from him. I
Yeah,
mean,
no
it
shit.
was it seems very, I said it before, I'll say it again. iDubbbz is resembling one Ben Savage in that it seems like his autism has kicked up a notch and he's just become James Rolfe-esque and not understanding human responses to serious things. Maybe because his life is so isolated to just him and Anissa and whatever they're making, and he before that was doing videos of fucking squirrels. So there's not like an idea of matters of importance to him in any conventional sense. And maybe that'll change, but I don't expect it to for a while. It seems like he's very happy being Mr. Joma. So good for him. Everybody
Well,
hates him now. It doesn't
yeah.
even, the whole thing that stemmed a lot of this is the Israel Palestine conflict. And this has been an instance that I've observed where people don't even give a shit about who's aligned with what side there. It's just we all hate iDubbbz. iDubbbz is fucking
Hmm.
disgusting. Enough of iDubbbz. Shut up, iDubbbz. And
Well, that's
that's
what I, yeah,
heartwarming, you know?
that's what I said, right? It's like, oh, I'm supporting Israel now just because I dislike this guy so much. He's so unlikable that
The
anything
enemy
that
of
goes
my enemy
against him.
is my friend.
Exactly. Yeah. And isn't it funny how that's that's the image of this conflict for young people that watch them? Palestine and Israel is about
Palestine is
fucking
Hassan Pike, or
age three.
Israel is
Yeah.
Ethan Klein.
It's so fucking retarded. It's so dumb, but it's true. And I mean, they get more viewers than actual news. So I guess that's the real source, not the news, if you go by numbers, right? So it's just what a ridiculous current
It
whatever
makes me
this
pine
is.
for this era of YouTube we're going to be talking about tonight, where it was just people uploading projects that they just wanted to
Yeah.
do for the sake of doing it. Or if there were comedy personalities that existed on YouTube, it was rap battles of history, epic
Ugh.
mealtime. It was really corny shit.
Yeah.
But people did that and then they would make money through their
Smosh,
sponsorships. Yeah,
right?
Smosh was
It,
another
it
one.
equals three. Remember that?
No, I don't remember. What is that?
Ray William Johnson. You know,
It,
remember that
the
guy?
name's familiar to me, but
So
this doesn't ring a
he
bell.
he had a show called Equal Three, which was pretty much just him playing funny clips and commenting on them with a very type of energy. And he was huge. He had millions of followers back then. I think he's still a YouTuber. I just don't know what he does. He doesn't do that anymore.
He's
I
got a
don't think.
very black name.
Yeah, he's like Mexican. He is like little and Mexican. But yeah, that it was, looking back at what content, I'm not entirely happy with current YouTube, really. I feel like a lot of my feed is just trash because I've previewed 30 seconds of something and I'm too lazy to clear my history. So a lot of the time is, whenever you play a preview, which plays like 15 seconds, I think, or 30 seconds, it records it, yeah, it records it as if you watch the video. So then it
Yeah.
just starts recommending shit, which is fucking retarded because then I just, yeah, my feed is horrible right now. I have to go. I was thinking of just erasing the whole history and see what happens. But back in those days, I mean, maybe we were just entertained by simpler stuff, but
You want
I
to see
can't
my
think of
YouTube
anything.
subscription tab? This is it. Ready? For all of the people who are watching right now, first of all, I get shown
Doug.
Doug Walker shorts, but then also
Yeah.
this guy, Kyle Chase. And I fucking hate his thumbnails. His thumbnails look like literal chimpanzees, this face
Uh,
he's making. It makes me want to like throw something at the television anytime I see that. I start making monkey noises at the TV whenever I see that fucking thumbnail come up. That face he's making. Don't turn away from that. That
why is that a thing? I've started to see that
because
pop up more and more. It was a thing a couple of years ago, and then people started making fun of it, and everyone stopped. But then now all of a sudden, I guess because AI, right? Because you can just make your face, you can just make.
that ain't AI. That's him going ah. He's making a fucking stupid chimpanzee face. No, it's because the algorithm, for whatever reason, favors like action gifs. You know, my expression right there could be the thumbnail of this episode.
That
And
works
people
like
click on the open mouth for whatever reason. They're drawn to the open mouth. We call it the soy face. This is not a soy face. This is a monkey.
no, that's
I'm talking
intensity.
about a white guy, by the way, just in case you don't know
Yeah.
who Kyle Chase is.
Yeah, no, he's not one. That one's not surprise. That one's he's being aggressive, right? He's making chimp noises as opposed to the soy, which is just surprise, right?
Soy
That
only
this
shows the upper teeth,
Right.
and this is, well, now he's got like the thinking man pose. He's got his thumb and hand
No, but that's
planted on
AI.
his
Like
chin.
the image behind him is AI, so he's just putting himself on a bunch of AI garbage. The not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just the face. Just don't do those faces. That shit works the opposite for me. Like whenever I see something like that, I see that on like British soccer content, and I'm just like, you don't need to do this shit. What the fuck? Why would I click on that? When I want to hear
The
analysis.
thing that's most repulsive is I'll subscribe to some political channels, usually during election season, then I will fail to unsubscribe, and they will utilize AI Trump, AI presidents abroad, AI Netanyahu, all, yeah, and it's like you couldn't just pull up a picture from Google and plant them in there. Like Photoshop removes the background from images for you now. You don't even have to
Yeah.
do that. It takes an extra second. Why do you think this is going to be effective here? But I really need to unsubscribe from 95% of this. It's just junk I don't even watch. I really only tune into crypto channels these days. I got Timcast on here. I've got PBD podcast, James Whale Bake Sale. I can't be bothered with any of it.
Yeah, I know. I don't even subscribe to anything anymore. I just like them, hoping that that works. Because I don't even get anything from subscriptions. You know how you used to get emails? You used to get emails for whenever one of your subscribers, or when people will go live. I don't think I've gotten one of those in years for anything that I'm subscribed to.
Oh, Hans
But
is dying.
yeah,
Hans very
oh,
covertly, quickly coughed away, and it looked like a
I
very
lo-
painful, agitated cough. Amazing. That was very slick.
yeah, you didn't let me. You made
Well,
it more of a
the
Jason
people who are
Damon thing.
watching the video saw it. They saw
Yeah.
you looking pained and going, "Ugh," but not making the
And
"Ugh" sounds.
yeah, yeah, and then come back
Hans
and
actually has
uh,
cirrhosis of the liver and he's passing away. He's actually trying to keep the vomit down. That's what you actually saw, but he's doing a great job of hiding it.
I
You,
can't imagine a worse. Well, no, that's not true. A worse way of. Like if your kidneys are shitty
There's
and
a
you're just
guy I
yellow,
follow
not
on
Asian.
Instagram, and his whole thing is cirrhosis reenactments. He will
What?
reenact alcoholism and having cirrhosis. His name's like
With
Scott
makeup?
Freda.
What, he put makeup on and
No,
or
but I
like
mean
how?
he'll show you like how alcoholics hide their booze, and he'll start doing gagging sounds and vomiting and doing having the shakes first thing in the morning because he hasn't had his vodka yet.
Oh, I think I've seen those videos. Yeah, on social media, he's bringing awareness, right, to alcoholism ish. Yeah, yeah, I think I've seen those.
I've seen him come up.
But
You
I
know,
thought,
he's very segregated to Instagram for me because I will get his reels sent to me there. But I saw him come up on X recently, and somebody was like, "Oh, this is so sad. This man is slowly dying of cirrhosis." And then somebody had to correct, no, he's actually just doing a reenactment here. He says that he lost his wife from cirrhosis of the liver, which I believe is probably true. But who knows with this guy? He's so good at pretending to be dying from alcoholism. You can't really believe a word he says.
is he making money out of? Well, I guess with views, right? It's like those couple of years ago, there was people on TikTok that were faking Tourette's. I don't know if you remember that. And
No.
then it just came out that it was just faking the whole brrrr. They were going like brrrr in the middle of whatever they're saying. It's like, oh yeah, I got
Well,
Tourette's,
that
and then
was an
they
easy one to fake because you really just have to be a spaz. You just have to be random in a 2006 sort of way, and people will believe
yeah,
you have Tourette's.
but they're stupid though, because like I don't think they believe the fact that they're actually making people believe that they have Tourette's. So then they go too far and they start asking for money, and that's
Mm.
when people start looking into it and they're like, "Wait a second,
I need a
you've made
GoFundMe to
tw
cure my Tourette's syndrome.
exactly, yeah, I'm gonna deal with my Tourette's because I say fuck in the
Give,
middle of
send, go. People are trying to ruin my life because I faked Tourette's for several years. That could be
yeah,
a
that's
good
right.
strategic
It
move.
if they caught you saying the N word profusely in public, and just say, I got Tourette's, Brrrr, and, and that should be good enough to get a Gives and Go account.
Who's gonna question
Dude,
that?
the country's so divided now that you don't even need, a real reason. By the time that they realize that it's not true, you already made the money. You just take it out, and who cares? I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure
Well,
those cases are gonna start popping up just to take advantage of this whole thing.
I'm surprised they haven't taken a moral stance of being, well, we don't want to encourage this behavior, so we're going to remove these fundraisers. I mean, good for somebody has to say, I
No.
don't care. Just raise your money. We want our cut. That's it.
Well,
Leave
exactly.
it
Yeah.
be.
What's the cut? It's like fucking 20% of
Something
a
like
million
16%, I
dollars.
bet. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course they're not gonna say, if you're making $2,000, they might. But if
Hmm.
it's 700,000, that's a pretty nice chunk of change for them to just be like, morals.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
Show
know.
them.
Back in my
Show them.
day, we used to raise money for these poor, underprivileged people out in places like Wyoming, like one Joshua Saunders working
Is
at
that
a
what you're saying?
Wendy's,
Hmm.
uneducated, loves to smoke cigarettes. His teeth are rot. Somebody tagged me in a photo of a tooth update from
Oh
Gothic
no.
King Cobra, and they were just straight yellow. They looked like severe hard drug use had taken a toll on them. They're receding. Do you have any tooth recessions?
Oh yeah, I do, because my bite's fucked up.
Oh
That's why I
no.
need to get adult braces, because my shit
Your
is
teeth are or your
fucked.
gums are?
No, no, my teeth. So it's
Oh
because my teeth,
no.
like my bite is like this, so they fit perfectly, right? So like what goes into like, yeah, they're kind of fucked. That's why I need braces. I'm looking at a video of his fucking mouth right now, and I'm
Although,
gonna
can you please pull it up? I'd love to
throw up.
see. Again, everybody who listened to the episode where he took over and assigned us Tombstone, you better have kissed King Cobra before we got into the movie. All right, we're taking a look at King Cobra's tooth situation, his mouth situation. The teeth look all right there. They look full, at
I
least.
give a shout out to Dean, who says,
No,
Oh
look at
my
that.
God. All right, never mind. I take that
Full
back.
of what?
That
Josh.
looks like. Oh, jeez. Okay, look at the
Why is
tongue.
his tongue black? What the? Oh
After
my!
going to counseling for a couple of
That's
weeks,
from
This is
severe
2
tobacco
years.
use, I think.
Oh yeah.
I need
Hmm.
to do it more on
Let's
my
get
shirt.
closer. Come on, let's go.
The teeth are not
Yeah.
just from smoking, and
Oh,
maybe it looks like he does dip.
Pictures before I'm 34.
oh,
Even his teeth are gone.
Here's what blew my mind during the documentary. The documentary was released in 2014. I believe it was shot in 2012. At the end of the documentary, he says, "I'm only 21 years old." It was like,
what?
"I'm older than King Cobra. You're older than King Cobra." This is insanity.
Whoops. Okay, maybe on TikTok there's a shorter one. Let's
He's
see.
aged so poorly from not taking care of himself.
Oh, ew, that's not him. But what the fuck? Oh my God. Sorry.
Joshua Fay Saunders.
So he
There was
lost them.
specifically,
He doesn't
though.
have them. He lost his front teeth. He lost the top
Hmm,
ones.
when is this from?
Uh, January 23rd.
Oh wow, this year. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just imagining the smell, you know.
You asked before, what does his mustache smell like? Imagine his gums. Imagine what his gums smell like.
Ima-
It's a handsome smile. He
Dude,
looks like Chop
what
Top
the
from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
what the fuck? How is it? How is there how is there holes on top of dude? What the fuck?
His holes have holes.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm sweating.
Is there a worse smell than tooth decay? Because it's
Uh,
just, it's literal straight shit. You can't get worse than that, right?
you know what might be worse? And I don't know if you've been exposed to this a lot because I feel like it happens a lot with coworkers in the morning. But when you can smell their breath and what you smell is their stomach, not their breath.
Ooh, they
So
haven't
it's like
eaten
it's
yet smell.
yeah, yeah. So it's like it's not it doesn't smell like plaque or anything. No, it smells like it. There's like it's coming all the way from the stomach, and they
Hmm.
talk to you and it's just warm. You just feel like a warmth coming from their mouth, and it's just yeah, that might be the only one that's worse than Jesus Christ.
What is what
Does he
is
make any money with like streaming and shit?
I don't know. That's what's hard to tell about a lot of these guys, because even Boogie, when we
Disgusting.
watched the Boogie 2988 documentary from that one guy, he was like, "Yeah, I only have $20,000, and I lost it all in cryptocurrency." And then everybody's telling him, "You got to take the money out so you can support yourself." And he's like, "Yeah, but if I do that, then I lose my opportunity for it to go up." And
Yeah, he lost
honestly,
it.
Boogie, you better not have touched that money, since it's been a very good green week for cryptocurrency. We're recording this May 12th. Maybe it's a lot different, June 15th, or whenever the hell this episode drops. But I really hope you didn't take those people's advice. Anyway, all that to say, Boogie was still uploading videos and doing streams and his thing online. He wasn't making any money from it. So it's hard to say whether or not this guy is making a living off of his personality. I think there's definitely a thing here. I was talking about this recently with Red Letter Media, because somebody just randomly tweeted out. They said, "I don't like Red Letter Media." And then that got like 50,000 likes or so, whatever the system is on X.
Okay.
And it was just like a very basic statement. And then somebody commented about how they didn't like Red Letter Media because Jay took a jab at Christianity or something when talking about some movie that came out. And then somebody else in the comment section wrote, "Yeah, I didn't like their take on Joker or one of these big blockbuster movies." And I was dissecting, because I've seen this more and more, and I've personally felt it. I feel like you voiced the same thing as well, where it's just
Mhm.
a general disinterest that is building with Red Letter Media. And I think that people are looking for excuses to explain that disinterest, but there's no excuse. I think it's just you've seen these people too much. They've been around too much. They've done the same thing for too long. It's the opposite of an iDub situation or a Joji situation or an H3 situation, where they change something from the formula and then people go, "Oh, but you were better when you were doing this." they still sustain some sort of a significant amount of their viewership because of that change. iDubbbz is maybe a different story because you take a look at his podcast now and the numbers are horrific. I think it really has more to do with the fact he integrated that succubus into his brand and made her a fundamental core of that. I think if iDubbbz were to, let's say pre Content Cop on H3, if he were to go do a podcast with somebody else, just some dude like Dax Flame, someone like that, those numbers are a hell of a lot better than if it's him and Anissa. But Red Letter
Well, he
Media,
can't he can't anymore though, right? Did you see that video he made with the everything for views and the other guy later? Like they did one not recent, but let's say two, maybe 3, 5 years ago, and he was not funny. He was like shy and reserved and like didn't want to make any jokes and didn't want to say anything offensive. And he said that, oh, my performance in that episode was closer to the real person who I really am, or whatever. I think he's just like he's gone. His brain is gone. He can't have a real conversation with a human being without pulling all of this leftist fucking psychology bullshit that he uses on everything he says now. He just sounds like a liberal woman. Like that's what he sounds like. You
well,
know,
he's
we're
tucked into his relationship, and it seems like in their everyday life, she's the one who does all the talking. She probably orders for them when they go out to dinner. She does all of that, and he's cozy in that. And I said this before, but I think he lost his essence getting so comfortable in that relationship. That happens to a lot of guys where you'll link up with somebody you haven't been really friends with in 10 years, and he's been with a girl for that period of time, and he's used to conducting himself within that. So then when you go and hang out, it's like you're not hanging out with you get like a shell. You get a version, a very condensed, small version of that friend from 10 years ago. And some people mistake that with maturing. No, maturing is something completely different. He tried to market that as I'm a more mature person now because I have
I
liberal
learned
politics.
I learned empathy at 32. Isn't that something he said? And it's
He
just like,
said
shut
that,
the
yeah, yeah.
fuck
You know what's
up.
mature
Shut
is
up.
getting a gold tooth
Yeah,
and
yeah.
having your lady be the voice of your relationship. That's a sign of maturity, is letting a
Hmm.
woman speak. But listen,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about iDubbbz anymore. iDubbbz is just kind of he's an example of that and it not working out. I think it worked out in stage 2, but now he's on stage 3 and it doesn't work. People are turned off by it. Red Letter Media, they had Complete Fire, video formats, best of the worst, wheel of the worst, whatever the hell that was. They're enjoyable, they're charming guys, they're funny, they're amusing, but they've been doing it for 14 years, 15 years. These guys are pushing 50. We've watched them go from neckbeards to like better looking especially this is more geared towards Jay. Jay
Yeah.
got like cut and knew how to grow a beard and do his hair and he started looking good again. And now they're kind of decaying again, and you watch these people go through this cycle of just, all right, well, we're going to meet up and we're going to talk about the movies and we're going to complain about the movies in the same way. It's just people getting tired of that. That's all that is. Where was I
You know
going
what I
with this?
think?
Where did this stem from? Oh, anyway, I think it was about Gothic King Cobra and whether or not he makes money. He's probably reached a point of being online for so long that he just doesn't make money. And I think the novelty is long gone there. I would be surprised if he made more than like beer money per week doing whatever it is he's doing, if he's doing anything.
Do you think he's making more money than that Italian guy from that fake movie that streams online?
The fake
Remember?
movie.
Remember the fake movie where they made a movie around making this guy believe that he was in a movie, but he
Oh,
wasn't?
Perry. We covered
Yeah,
this
yeah,
for the
yeah.
show.
Perry Carabelli. Yeah. Do you think he makes more money than him streaming? Probably not, right?
Ooh, good question. No. No, I think they
Probably
probably
not.
make a very close amount of money, but Perry probably collects disability.
Mm,
And so he's able to live more comfortably. Because I feel like when we checked in on what Perry was up to, his apartment seemed fine. Like,
yeah.
it didn't seem like he was living in a disaster zone. And he's an
By the
older guy
way,
now. He's like 60, right?
yeah. By the way, just a quick update on Thunderbolts that we were talking about on the episodes. He went from 120 something on the weekend to making 33 million on the second weekend.
Mm,
So there's your
yes.
change of title that you thought was gonna make you
Well,
an
the fact that
extra 100 million.
you just called it Thunderbolts, so
My bad. New
it's like
Avengers. Sorry. Yeah.
it's X and Twitter. That's what they're trying to do, and I call it X, but I called it tweets earlier. I didn't call it posts. So good luck. You're not going to be able to change people's mind. The Thunderbolts thing is going to stay. That gimmick from a month
Yeah.
ago, obviously, for the people on Spotify and Apple Podcasts who aren't watching this on patreon.com/lowres and our $5 tier on May 12th. Wow, that's old news. Can't believe that. We all knew that was a flop. Why are you telling me something from a month ago, Hans?
The accountant made more money. No, it didn't. It didn't. I'm kidding. I just wanted to say something about the Red Letter Media thing. I think that one of the main reasons why I got tired of even caring about what they have to say is that because they've been doing it for so long and it's the same thing.
Mm,
I think the fact that they gave up on making movies is a big mistake because that gives you extra time to focus on different things than just the same format that you've been doing for 15 years and maybe taking a break because you guys have to go shoot the movie. We're bringing new people in for a couple of different episodes that are going to be different than what you're getting for 15 years. And that's when you get the Macaulay Culkin episodes or
yeah.
the guest episodes. Things like that, I think, are missing. And also, that also lets me know that their ambition is not to do anything film related, and their ambition is just kind of to cruise with what they have right now and just stay comfortable. Which I mean, I understand if we were making the amount of money that they were making, we'll just keep doing the same fucking thing. Maybe,
No, I'd
but
put
I
that into
think,
crypto and go poor probably, and then be back to doing whatever's happening now.
but I think just giving up on the filmmaking side of it and just focusing on the same format monthly, I think it's a big reason why at least me, I'm kind of not maybe not tired, but I just don't care
Yeah,
anymore. You know,
I
and
think
also
there's
you also you
y-
you know what you're getting too, right? So you need to give
yeah.
me something for me to watch. It has to be something that I know. Oh, they're gonna shit on it, or I wonder what their take's gonna be. But I feel like I've been watching them for so long that I kind of know what their take's going
Mm.
to be. So now I'm just kind of like, eh.
I'll say I don't think that they need to work on a movie necessarily, but there has to be a carrot that they're dangling in front of the audience, an incentive to keep watching and to also financially support what they're doing. Yet they haven't changed anything in terms of quality either with their shows in 10 years. I mean, they maintain a level of professional quality,
Mhm.
but there's nothing bigger that's going to come, and they're getting older and rounder. So what are we tuning in here for? Just because it's a hangout? Okay, that's fine. I mean, but I think for a lot of people, it's just going to be like, all right, we got the point. And
Yeah, and
if you're
also,
not gonna expect, I think you made a great point here in that by doing those extra things, you're circling new people in. You're bringing in new blood to make it feel different, to reinvigorate it and change something up. Even if you don't intend to, it will have that effect as a result. And so you're going to be feeling fresher, but they don't do that. They're very happy hanging out in Wisconsin with
yeah,
their group of guys who they bring in. And it's always like some 48-year-old bald guy who probably likes the new Star Wars movies way too much, you
or
know.
Star Trek, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a prerequisite. You gotta love Star Trek, right? And then every so often they'll get a Jack Quaid who will show up 6 years too late to promote his shitty movie.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe don't make a movie, right? Let's say that's too big of a. Okay, let's do a short film. Let's do another Plinkett. Let's do something different instead of just like they got rid of Plinkett, which was their entry to everyone,
mhm.
right? That's done. They started using it as a character in what's the show?
Best of the
Half
no,
in the
not best of
bag,
worst, half in the bag.
half in the bag, and then they got rid of him. I don't even know if they still do half in the bag. But it just kind of feels like the creative part of it other than just two guys talking, which I mean, I can't shit on that. That's what our show is, but
That's the best
that's not
format, some would say.
right. But that's not what their channel has been. The reason why they're so huge is because they were doing different things, not just
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again. So then after it's weird that the more successful they've got, the least the less creative stuff they've done, which
The
doesn't.
most interesting and fun thing that I think they've done in a while was their ghost hunting video where they spent the day in a haunted house and it yielded almost no results at all. That was still much more watchable than a lot of the reviews that come out. Just because it's like, all right, well, we understand what your taste is. We've gotten to know what the personalities behind these opinions are. We can very easily guess where this is going to go. And you only watch bad shit. I mean, for the most part, it's just you only watch commercial garbage. You don't ever talk about deep cut, obscure movies. You will never
Yeah.
see, not that they should cover Francois Truffaut or something, but it's like, oh, wow, you went to the movies to go see The Marvels. I wonder how you feel about The Marvels.
Yeah.
I don't care. They would never talk about Gothic King Cobra, the 2014 documentary from talented filmmaker Trapped, otherwise known as Joel Patrick. That sounds like a
Mhm.
fake name. That sounds fake as fuck. I always thought Trapped was Zachary Waltman, who did the music for all these documentaries and worked on Happy World Daddy and some $1 million extreme projects.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
When I went to Boston for the first time, did you think that I was more autistic than I actually was? And is what you were trying to do at Walmart your version of this documentary? And then when you realize that, oh wait, he's not just a punching a punching bag
Mm.
that's gonna go with everything, then that kind
Oh
of
no, he's
died.
actually sentient. How are we gonna
Yeah,
do?
he's not that retarded. Yeah.
I feel like the person who would be best suited for one of these type of documentaries is actually Kenny,
Yeah.
which is
Because he goes with
unfortunate.
everything.
But I
Yeah.
think you
Yeah.
can, yeah, yes. What you can see in this documentary when you turn it on, if you have any sort of familiar nature to the Gothic King Cobra online character, again, I don't. I've only seen bits and pieces, clips here and there, but from what we got of the video where he recommended Tombstone and what you tune into in this documentary is two different people. This is a much more lively, healthy, full bodied, full toothed Gothic King Cobra. And unfortunately, as a result of several vices and low living, he has completely disoriented himself and become this strange, fringe, I'm assuming, drug addict. But this character in this movie reminds me so much of many guys I went to school with. Many of these weirdo AV club, sometimes they'd be in ROTC because they would have military or police hopes and dreams, being an authority figure. Often quote Family Guy, talk about downloading things on Kazaa. This type of individual. And Gothic King Cobra, a lot of his rants feel teed up to what YouTube will become. YouTube will become like a more reserved version of Gothic King Cobra in the years following this, with people like TJ Kirk, the amazing atheist. It all feels very in that wheelhouse of personality and Bill Hicks inspired. What is Hans pulling up here? He has started screen sharing. We get Scooter from the
Do,
Muppets. Yeah.
do you think Scooter was the best case scenario for Gothic King Cobra? Because that's all I could think of when I was seeing his healthy face.
Mm,
Just this very eyes very close to each other. His hair is kind of like that, and his energy is kind of scootery, I guess. Uh
I could picture that.
the the thing that surprised me the most was that because I've only seen modern King Cobra, but here I've hung out with this guy multiple times before, you know. High school, you see this type of guy everywhere where they think they're misunderstood. So instead of like bettering themselves, they go, well, fuck you for not understanding me. So I'm going to make myself to be the most unlikable piece of shit there is. And I'm going to dress like a shithead because I'm cool. And then they start buying shit with skulls in them and chains for no reason. And because they have guys like, I think the guy that tells him, oh, that's such a badass chain. What a cool chain. Is that the same alcoholic from the beginning?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it is.
okay.
He looks a little
Because,
cleaner at that point. You know, he's a
yeah.
bum. He's the first character that's introduced in this documentary. And he's just like a 38-year-old guy who loves drinking and can't sustain a home. He
Yeah.
probably is also a heroin addict, you know.
Yeah, he's like, this chain is badass, and he's so proud of his chain.
Mm.
He talks about how he attempted suicide with a guitar string, and then after that, he got a girlfriend. He's like, "Isn't it funny how life works?" It's just and there, just the train of thought of like a dork, a friendless dork that has like a weird vision of what the world is because of their circumstances, and I think I like I've met a lot of weirdos. I was in weirdo circles because I was one of them growing up. So I met this guy so many times. So to me, it's not that odd or that weird to hear someone saying outrageous shit or just being weirdly horny at no at weird points for no reason. Like when he goes to the costume shop and he looks at the costume of a sexy cop and he's like, "Oh, look at this sexy cop." He gets all horned up about the picture. I've met that guy so many times. So to me, it was just kind of like, oh yeah, that's a,
I feel
you
like
know,
that was pretty common speak at 2021. That I feel like that is something people men gradually build out of around 24, 25 years old. Because I was thinking back very similarly to all the friends I had straight out of high school who were lingering and would eventually disappear from my life. They were all the same way. They were all the same exact type of person and
Mhm.
spoke very similarly. Not all of them, but many of them would. And he seems to be one of the, back in 2012, 2013, that's really the cutoff. People would just recite random things they've seen from the internet and from movies and TV shows and pass it off as whatever their own thoughts are.
Mhm.
And I get the sense that Gothic King Cobra is one of these guys with how he talks and how he shares random stories about like necrophilia and sleeping with women and this and that. Oh, you know what my
Hard
favorite
that.
quote from this movie is, and I'm
Yeah.
paraphrasing, but he says something like, "Yeah, I don't have any sexual experience, but I have a lot of theories." And then, he was talking about getting a hand job or fingering or eating out some girl right at the end of the movie.
Mhm.
The end of the movie is really him wandering around, ranting in place, sharing details that are way too personal to be sharing. And he says he tried to kill himself in several. He tried stabbing himself. It's very Artie Lang. Who knows if any
Yeah.
of this is true? You could believe it is
Well,
true, but you could also believe it's a total fabrication.
well, he carved a pentagram in his stomach, right? And then the second thing he said right after that was, "People don't take me seriously. They think I'm some kind of a thug because of the way I dress."
Oh yeah, he
It's like
gets
you should.
very contentious with this term thug that he's assigned to himself. I don't like
Yeah.
people thinking I'm a thug. I am this and that and this, but I'm not a thug. It's like
It's like
nobody
a
has ever
normal
had the
thing.
impression you're a thug, dude. So,
No.
not even in Wyoming where this takes place.
But it's a lot of that so random humor too, which
Yeah.
thankfully seems to be gone. Because god damn, it's so like one moment really sticks out to me when he goes to the I don't know if it's a carpet store, but there's carpets there, and he starts going shag carpet and starts humping the air.
It's
It's
very
just like,
David Brent.
uh,
It started to remind me of David Brent in The Office when he would just start riffing on something. It would just be obnoxious and
this
uncomfortable to
is
watch.
it's like, please stop. This is not. Did you like his freestyle at the end
Yeah. I mean,
when
honestly,
he goes?
I love all of Gothic King Cobra in this documentary. I think it's very well made. It's simply made. It's not ambitious in what it's trying to do. It's not sensationalist. It's just we're gonna pop into this guy's life for a week and document it. We're gonna
Just a
show the
portrait.
scenery. The music
Hmm.
is good. The music from
Yeah.
Zachary Waltman is very solid. I like some of the cinematography here for this documentary. It's really good filmmaking, and I think so separate of anything that has been made about him since. I went on to YouTube, and I know you referenced this before when we were talking about him the first time. There's one very lengthy one that details his entire internet existence called Empire of Dirt. I could care less about seeing, oh, he's acting crazy on stream. Oh, he's getting into an argument with his dad. Oh, what is he smoking crack now? I don't care about that. This is so informative in a way that those could never be. Those can give you a compilation and will point and laugh. This is an encapsulation of who this character is. It gives you insight into the world that he exists in, what it's like being in Wyoming in the early 2010s, 21 years old, clearly autistic, and working a shit job, having very little to look forward to for the future. Maybe, the fact that knowing that he does turn into this character, he does eventually become, lights it in a different way. But I think you can give this, I think it's 66-minute documentary to anybody, and they're going to get something from it the same way that they might watch a Harmony Korine movie or an early David Gordon Green film.
Well, the documentary doesn't really bother to create a narrative or to frame it in any type of way or tell you that he is one thing or point a finger at him in any type of way. It's just a portrait of who he is. So he's just showing you who he is, and you get all of that from seeing him interact with his world. You don't need a YouTuber, to not use a different word, to tell you, oh, look at how awful he is because he did this thing, and can you believe that he yelled at his dad? This is who he is, and we're going to put him in a couple of different situations where he has to deal with people in a social setting, and then we're just gonna hear him be himself in a environment that he's comfortable with so that he can be himself and show you who he is. So that's why you get a more honest portrait or more honest view into the world of this guy, because you don't have someone framing anything or setting it up in a three arc structure so that you get a beginning, middle, event. No, this is his Tuesdays, and there's no setup. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of setup with like planning where to take him or whatever, but there's no we're setting him up to say this, or we're not setting him up to act some type of way. This is just who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it's such an easy watch. And like you said, anyone can get something out of it just because we've all met this guy, and that's who he is. Even if you haven't met him, like that this is who he is when no one's watching, or when he's with his friends, or when he's comfortable. And you're not going to get that from a narrative documentary where they're just pointing a finger at him because he did something bad or good.
Yes, I completely agree. I mean, honestly, if we're comparing it to the very short video we received from him recommending Tombstone, and then jumping into whatever video might be the top of YouTube to get familiar with this guy, that's not what you're going to get from this documentary. This documentary is a 3D portrait of this dude's world and the characters that are just kind of hanging out on the sidelines here. I think it's great. I think it's a very, very good documentary. I don't know what this guy, Joel Patrick, is up to these days, but I hope he's still working on documentaries. Yeah, I know there's a trilogy of them. I failed to come up with the title of the third one. It's from Andrew Ruse. It was called Travis. Somebody posted that in the Discord, I believe. All three of these documentaries are worth taking a look at. The other one from this director, Trapped, is called Ham Pow 93, My Brother, Which I Care For, 2015. If you want to pull up the trailer to this, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. It's about Hamilton Powell and Hudson Powell. and it's about these brothers who live in like a similar impoverished midwestern looking environment. It's been several years since I've watched this thing. I think they might be in one of the Carolinas, but it was part of this run of documentaries that just focused on peculiar people. So we're taking a look here at patreon.com/lowres. Hans is pulling up the Trapped YouTube channel. Not a lot of
Which one is it?
subscribers at all. That's kind of crazy.
Which one is it? This one?
Ham Pow.
Oh,
Yeah, just the preview will do it. It's the one on the right. Yeah.
I remember we used to put those in hot water. And
$1 Million Extreme.
when we were like little.
huh.
And let me show you how they squirt venom. You see them getting a little wet? We ain't gonna hurt you, guy. We just want you to squirt your venom. I love these things, venom.
So for people who are only listening to the audio here, it's one of these brothers messing around with a millipede using a leaf. I didn't know that $1 Million Extreme put this out. I had no idea.
Yeah. Oops.
I feel like I'm demon possessed.
When was this?
This was 2015. It was probably shot in like 2013, 2014.
I wonder why he stopped making them.
Got it.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of creatives from this time period that existed in the same space who got hooked on drugs and just flamed out.
Hard.
I'm not saying that's what happened here with Trapped. I have no idea what happened with Trapped, but I can name
li-
3 or 4 people that were successful and popular and were doing work like this that would succumb to drug addiction, lose all interest in anything else.
He lives with King Cobra now.
Yeah. It's actually King Cobra's dad.
That actually kind of looks like iDubbbz, this guy.
Well, they all have a similar look. They all have a vaguely autistic look.
Studio, sex studio.
All right, I think we got the idea here. We don't have to sit through the entire 4-minute clip. There seems to be very
So
little
do they
happening.
do they like kill someone, or
No, it's just
so they're
them
just
hanging
they're just
out, vibing
terrifying?
out. Imagine
just
if you were doing a
scary?
documentary and turned it into Man Bites Dog. Nobody's been that lucky. Actually, no, that's not true. I mean, Andrew Jarecki with the Jinx. You can't beat that. You could never beat that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true crime meeting its most logical and satisfying conclusion.
Out of nowhere too. Like he is the one that framed himself pretty much, right?
That
His
whole
ego.
situation is so insane to wrap your head around. He gets interested in what's the man's name? Robert Durst.
Yes.
He becomes interested in Robert Durst and does a movie with Ryan Gosling on that's inspired by that guy's life. That guy hits him up and is like, "Hey, we should do a documentary on me." And then Andrew Jarecki's like, "Yeah, sure, all right, why not?" And so they unpack the whole documentary from his perspective, or so he thinks it's going to be from his perspective, detailing all of his crimes and the murders that he got away with. And then you catch the guy because of the documentary that he willed into existence. It's crazy. It's insane.
Is that All Good Things?
All Good Things. Yeah, I've actually never seen All Good Things. I've watched The Jinx 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So good.
Catching him because he left his a hot mic on while going to take a piss and he mumbles to himself. Amazing. Amazing conclusion. You will never, ever beat that. Ever. The only way you could ever beat that is you find the killer killing somebody and getting that on video. That's the only way you could ever top that. That's the best.
I didn't know that he also directed Capturing the Freedmans. That documentary is fucked up too. And apparently he has a new one coming out this year called The Alabama Solution, about incarcerated men that are trying to expose a cover up in the Alabama prison system.
What is the
Uh,
cover up?
I I don't know.
I think you got to find out on the documentary. You got to watch to
Yeah, I
find
guess
out.
so. There's apparently just premiere in Sundance, so not much information is out.
It's a movie.
But
It's not a series.
it's a documentary filmed over 5 years. It's a gripping first-hand investigation into the horrors of Alabama's prison system, with contraband phones as their only tools. Incarcerated men risk everything to document rampant abuse, slave-like labor conditions, and shocking cover-ups.
Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, he's a very talented documentarian. Obviously, I'll check it out. Although the
Yeah.
Jinx 2 was lackluster. I think doing that after Robert Durst died is a bit of a flop.
Well, he didn't do that though.
The Jinx
That
2?
wasn't him. That wasn't him, according to IMDb.
Are you? Do you have the
He
right
did the
Jarecki?
Jinx
There's two
too.
Jarekkis.
I have Andrew.
Who's
Do you want
the
me to
Jarecki
show
who
you?
did the Jinx? He was it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was all over the documentary, and they got some like prison phone calls of Robert Durst before he died that were hilarious.
Oh wait, there's two. No, this is the director, right? This guy.
Uh,
That's
yeah,
not for Emily the Jinx. Yeah. S- So that's his.
yeah, he did right there. The Jinx, the life and times of Robert Durst. So they have both seasons, I think, listed under that one IMDb listing there because you see
So that's
2024.
why. Yeah, 12 episodes. Oh, okay, I got you. What's the part two? I never saw that.
Part two is just, hey, we're gonna go back and interview more people who didn't want to talk at the time, who were scared for their lives of this old man at the time.
Ah, well,
And
that's not.
they obtained some prison phone calls that he had or audio of prison visits. It's all interesting. It's all very interesting. This
Yeah, but I
is
mean,
what was that?
can
Hold on. What was the Jinx by Prince?
some Indian shit. I don't know. Oh, is this Prince?
Is that the
What the?
Prince? Wasn't he dead? Didn't he die in 2016?
Well, this is from 2017.
This is an
Yeah,
imposter.
this is not Prince.
I
This is
mean,
Prince.
yeah. Precious Pictures
I'm sorry to
with
say.
PG Films, directed by Prince.
Yeah, that sounds like
मैं
Prince.
तुम्हारी फ्रस्ट्रेशन समझ सकता हूँ राजीव, लेकिन तुम्हें भी एक बात समझने की ज़रूरत है। इलाज बीमारी का होता है, लेकिन हम लोग यहाँ सिर्फ बीमारी से नहीं,
I can't figure out if
किसी
this
और
is
चीज़
English
से
or
लड़
not.
रहे हैं।
Is it English and I just don't understand it? What a just delightful looking people here. Jesus
ये
Christ.
आवाजें ये आवाजें मुझे पागल कर देंगी राजू।
Which one's Robert Durst? Where is he gonna kill the bitch?
Damn, that's a big dot.
Oh man.
I didn't know there was. I mean, it's not even Satanism. They couldn't
Is
do a
that fucking-
pentagram there.
King Cobra's teeth. Uh was it Dutch angles in
Wow.
2017? Sorry, my bad.
That looks
Ken's-
really
Ken-
cool. Hey, you ever hear
Wait,
about
so-
the Kevin Smith documentary on Prince?
No. Which Prince is this?
Not
what, is
this
it out?
Prince, but Prince the musician. The artist formerly known as Prince. He hired Kevin Smith to come out and do a documentary on him. And then after it was entirely shot and a version was composed, they canceled the documentary because Kevin Smith pissed him off somehow. Like they had a weird frictiony interaction. And that was that. The documentary was
What's-
killed.
Oh, do I have to listen to? Oh yeah, I have to listen to a 10-minute clip, 30-minute clip.
You got to listen
Ooh,
to
Jesus, Kevin.
Smodcast episode 432 and then also his live presentation.
Yeah, he put it in one of those. Yeah, 30-minute bit. God damn. Okay. He was trying to get a Prince song for Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
He was already dead. Those people were going to say no. I mean, the best case scenario there would have been, Prince being like, yeah, it's been 10 years. You almost died of a heart attack. Sure, why not? He really juiced that, by the way. And he should have used it for something
Oh,
a hell of a
yeah.
lot better. But the
Well,
past
what did
is
he
the
juice?
past.
What did he juice it for? So that he didn't have to pay 2 plane tickets instead of just one,
Mm.
right? Isn't that what happened? Too fat to fly.
Too
right?
Fat to Fly was a different controversy. Nobody's going to do
Whatever.
his movies because he's too fat to get on a plane.
That's right. Because he might get a heart attack.
Mm.
I'm just mixing all of them together. Yeah. I I don't know. I feel like this type of documentary I enjoy a lot more, even if it's kind of aimless and kind of all over the place and kind of you need to pay attention a lot more because you're not gonna have a nice bow to wrap it at the end, or where if you don't pay attention, they'll tell you what the story is or what you missed. But I like the portrait aspect of it and the the real representation of who they are. Not that I
I think that's actually the biggest thing, is that right there, is there's not a motive in the presentation of the person. They're just capturing the person and then figuring out what that looks like once it's opened up in the editing bay. It's not, hey, we're going in here because we got this goal of showing this person to be this. It's just, this guy's a character on his own. He'll give you enough. Just lean into that, show that. You don't have to manipulate it.
and I feel like it takes a lot of more talent to pick the clips that are going to make this an enjoyable watch when it comes to a non-narrative thing, because again, you're not creating anything, so it's just you have to figure out which ones will work for an audience and what will be interesting to hear, because I'm sure there's a lot of cut footage that he didn't include here, as opposed to if you're creating a narrative, then it's easier to just pick and match whatever to fix the narrative, to fit the narrative.
I mean,
So
honestly,
that,
what was probably cut, all of his rants were probably 3 times the length of what we watched. So thank you for cutting those down.
and what an unwavering patience to sit there and listen to this man just talk for 20 minutes and not just be like, all right, shut up.
I know how much of a trying time it can be on this show when we bring on somebody and then they just keep going and keep going and keep going. And then I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, well, it's already been an hour and 10 minutes. We
Yep.
can wrap up the show there, but they keep going. And then suddenly it
Mhm.
becomes several episodes, you know?
Yeah. And you and I try to end it, but it's like it doesn't matter.
It'll
We
be like,
try to
yeah,
like
yeah. And so, anyway, we're going to be, and then they just chime in and keep going. They
yeah, it's
extinguish
fun.
that attempt successfully, you know? It's very skillful. But all right. I think that's been the episode for this week. Anything else on King Cobra or anything to mention before we wrap up?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to, but I kind of want to check this two iDubbbz twins documentary.
Ham
It's a
Pow.
little longer.
I'll give that a watch again too and see if that might be worth talking about, because I feel like they're all three are worth talking about, especially Travis. Travis is the piece de resistance. That one is Kino for sure. Andrew Ruse, where is this guy? What are you doing right now? Where's my $500 I paid to see your Charles Carroll, Eric Hayden movie come into existence? I got a copy
What's
of it.
this?
Nobody else
Who's
does.
this?
Andrew Ruse, he's a very talented director. He directed World Peace. That's probably what he's most known for. But
Okay.
nowadays, he's best known for producing LA directors' projects that are like on the same tier as him. I don't
And
know.
who did Travis?
He did Travis before he
Okay.
became successful. He went from
Okay.
doing, I think it was called Thanks Computer. They did sketches together as him and this dude, I think his name was Karush or Karush. And he was like a Pakistani or Indian guy or half black, or I don't know what his background was. But he was a funny guy too. They were a partnership. They put out these sketches. Then Andrew went off and did World Peace. Karush was like, this is getting a little too right wing for me. I'm out of here. Right before Adult Swim picked them up. And then Andrew Ruse and Million Dollar Extreme seemed to sever. And Andrew went off to LA. MDE became what it is currently. And as of right now, Andrew Ruse is producing documentaries and directing music videos and producing music videos. So that is what he is up to. But there was a 50-minute movie. I mean, it's basically feature length called Our House that he crowdfunded a couple years back that I put money into because I wanted to see that come into existence, because Charles Carroll is hilarious, especially when he's working with Eric Hayden. Those guys have a natural chemistry. And it was about the two of them. I think Bombstrap and what that group did post World Peace. Some of that is just brilliant work, but that has not seen the light of day publicly. I got a version of it I got from one of the other producers on the project, but that's
Should we talk about
it.
it?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. My name's supposed to be on it as a producer, so wouldn't that be conflict of interest? I don't know if it's ever going to come out though. That's the thing, which
By
sucks.
the way, this Travis documentary is harder to find than fucking
Oh yeah,
Lemon Party now.
yeah. No, Travis has been
If,
uploaded, removed. I think there's a link in the Discord. Somebody posted
Oh,
it in the
okay.
Discord because I mentioned it. I couldn't think of the title, but
it's Travis the Ultimate Documentary. right?
yes, yeah. I've got a copy of it downloaded somewhere. It's good. It's very
Yeah,
entertaining. This guy Travis.
I keep finding web.org dead links. So I guess is it about him visiting ladies of the night?
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of him talking about how to smooth talk girls and things like that. It's a very entertaining documentary. And it's a little faster paced than the Gothic King Cobra one and probably Ham Pow. So we'll
All right,
take a
well,
look at
I'll-
both of those and see if they're worth talking about on the show. But if you would like to select an upcoming film for us to talk about on this program, we are looking for new listener sponsored episodes. We do have quite a few that we're going to have to get to shortly, actually. After we record a couple of episodes we got lined up with guests. But if you want to sponsor an upcoming episode and act as our producer by deciding that film, head on over to patreon.com/lowres and sign up for our listener-sponsored tier. $100, you will decide the topic of an upcoming episode, and we will sit and watch it and discuss it. So, that has been movies for this week. Thank you for listening.